This is Keith Sports News, KSN. Hello once again to another KSN episode 126. And if you're familiar with sports themes, especially big events, you probably do recognize this theme. That's right. NBC's horse racing theme. Oh yeah. Because here we are. Not only this is a special Saturday edition of KSN, it's the first Saturday of May. You know what that means, right? The biggest horse racing event. The 152nd Kentucky Derby. Let's go. So yeah, this episode is mainly about horse racing. Okay, that is the biggest thing happening this weekend. All right. So before I get to that, I have another announcement I want to make. This won't be as long. Okay. The last episode, oh my gosh, was almost another 3 hours, which is honestly ridiculous because, you know, the Monday episode, or no, the Tuesday episode, that was, excuse me, how long was that? Yeah, that was 3 hours, even though it was split into 2 parts, but OBS crashed in the middle of my recording, so I could not put the clips together on time. But if you add the times of the videos together, it'll be 3 hours. Episode 124 was 3 hours. The last episode was 2 hours and 45 minutes. And you know what's crazy? I forgot to mention the NBA and NHL playoffs in that episode. For some reason, I didn't write that down on the list of things to talk about. If I were to talk about it in that episode, that would have been probably 3 hours again. So yeah, so the last episode, if y'all listen to that, that's awesome. If y'all listen to the whole thing, at the beginning of that episode, I made an announcement. Basically, that announcement was that it's going to be 3 episodes a week from now on until the World Cup ends. Because after the World Cup, I will make my decision if I still want to keep this podcast going. Okay. And that's crazy. 2 episodes, 5 hours and 45 minutes total. Isn't that crazy? And so basically another announcement for this episode is that I really can't have the episodes that long anymore on the weekdays because I work during the daytime on the weekdays, Monday to Friday, and I did not get much sleep, and it's not good. After a while, you're going to have to pay the price, if you know what I mean. So, 3 episodes a week, either Mondays, every 2 days during the weekdays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or Tuesdays, Thursdays, and a special Saturday episode. Now, because I don't work on the weekends, only the special Saturday episode can be a long one because I have all the time. I have all the time in the world for Saturday's episode to be as long as it wants. Although this episode, I don't want it to be another long one after the last 2 episodes because I am tired. It's after 3 a.m., believe it or not. Why? is because I think I mentioned this before. Lately I've been watching quite a bit of the hockey playoff games, and I would wait until the last game is over. And it always ends late because, there's a game out in the West Coast, that game ended after midnight, I want to say. But I was listening to Sirius XM for over an hour, basically, of horse racing talk because of the Kentucky Derby. And then at 2 a.m., I put on TSN Sports Center. Okay? And now here I am. It's after 3 a.m. So, yeah. Okay. But this episode, I'm sure it'll be nowhere near as long as the last two episodes. Yeah, I should have thought about this in the last episode, but I didn't. So, yeah, from now on, only the big, long episodes can be on Saturdays. Only Saturdays. Okay? I don't want to do episodes on Sundays because Sunday is, like the second half of the sports weekend. All right? So, yeah. And, 3 episodes a week, like I said. The reason why is because there's a lot going on in sports. There's a lot to talk about during the spring and summer seasons. And another reason is that, because it used to be 2 episodes a week. Sometimes those 2 episodes are very long ones. So if I do 3 episodes a week, the episodes should be shorter. Well, this case it wasn't. 2 episodes, total of 5 hours and 45 minutes, which is kind of ridiculous. 5 tier. Because you're the MVP of this channel. Be honest with me. Did you really listen to the whole episodes? Well, actually, you know what? Hey, you remember? Remember I said I would like to do a call with you soon. I'm thinking on Wednesday's episode. If not, maybe next Saturday. Because like I said, Saturday I have all the time. Okay? Well, yeah, you and I will have to chat about this privately before we make it official. So yeah, I think we can do it sometime within a week or so. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I really can't really do marathon episodes anymore on weekdays. It can only be on Saturday, okay? But this Saturday special won't be a marathon because the last 2 episodes were marathons, and plus I don't want this to be another marathon episode because I'm tired. Okay? All right. So that's the announcement. 3 episodes a week. And you know what, 5 Terry? I think I will take your advice. Your comment from the last episode. The episode before that. That the big topic I should, whatever I want to talk about as the big topic, I can take as long as I want. And the other topics where there's not as much to talk about, I can be on the clock with the timer. Because you actually do like the timer, so that's cool. And you know what? I kind of do like it too. But here's the thing. I got to get used to using the timer if I'm going to make this permanently. I won't not on Saturdays. Saturdays, no timer, okay? No timer on Saturdays because, like I said, I have all the time in the world for Saturday's episodes. Or I don't know. Maybe I'll do a Saturday. Maybe I'll do an episode every Saturday. Maybe it can be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, or Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So let's say, next episode will be on Monday. Next episode will be on Monday. So every 2 days, Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday. So let's say we get the next Friday and I have a lot to talk about. I might as well save it for Saturday. Just, 1 day later. Okay? So yeah, I think that's how it should be. And I'll use the clock. I think I will use the clock for the first 2 episodes of the week, and then if there's an episode on Saturday, no clock. But if I do one on Friday, I'll have to use the clock, the timer, because there is a lot to talk about. This is a busy time in sports for the next couple of months. So, yeah. I think that's what's going to happen in the next episode. I think we're going to have the timer. Again, the reason why I used the timer in the first place is because of the NFL draft. You're on the clock, so I'm like, okay, let's do a fun episode where I'm on the clock. Even though episode 124, I was on the clock, but that was a 3-hour episode total. Plus the birthday segments, that birthday wishes, it was like 16 of them, and it took like over 50 minutes total. So I can't really be on the clock for that, the birthday segments. But like the sports topics, I can be on the clock for that. But again, I got to get used to using it, because it'll be weird, like if I'm in the middle of talking and the timer runs out, then I guess I have to stop talking. Or maybe finish it up real quick. Kind of like Pardon the Interruption, PTI, the ESPN 30-minute talk show with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. That is a great sports talk show. That is like the best ESPN show in my opinion. That's like the last original show that's still going. It'll be really sad when that show comes to an end. So there you have it. So once again, 3 episodes a week. I think I will use the timer permanently, except for Saturday episodes, because I can take as long as I want for those episodes. But I'll be back on Monday. If not, it'll be Tuesday. All right. I think this is how it's going to be. All right. All right. With that being said, now we can get to the stuff I want to talk about. All right. First of all, the shirt that I'm wearing, a lot of times it's a sports shirt, not a sports short. Excuse me. This shirt that I'm wearing is Tool. The band Tool. That's right. If you heard of that band before, if you heard any of their songs or any of their albums, it's amazing. I think they're my number one favorite active band. A lot of my favorite bands are no longer around because, I love old rock and roll music from mainly the 70s, the 1970s rock and roll. Oh, there's so many great bands from that decade. Now, Tool came in 1990. Okay, they were that heavy rock metal band, okay? And they only have 6 albums. Only 6 albums. But they're all fantastic. The reason why I'm wearing this shirt is because today marks 20 years since 10,000 Days came out, the album. So I listened to that whole album while me and my father were playing pool on the pool table. Yeah, I don't think I've said this before. If I did, it was a while ago. Every Fridays, me and my father would play pool while listening to music. Yeah, it's a tradition. We've been doing that for years. And, yeah. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. Their album, 10,000 Days, came out May 2nd, 2006. If you have a streaming app for music, go ahead and listen to that album if you're into that kind of music. Because, my gosh, they are well known for their albums. From pretty much from start to finish. It's really good. And it's crazy. Their very first album is over 30 years ago. It doesn't sound like it's that old of an album. Like, they took it to a whole nother level. So, yeah. This shirt, I went to see this band in 2019 in Houston, Texas. Yeah, they didn't come to Louisiana. So Houston was the closest city. Okay? 2019, it was actually on a Sunday night, and it was actually during Game 5 of the 2019 World Series that had the Houston Astros. But the Astros were not playing in Houston during the same night as the concert. They were playing the Washington Nationals in Washington, D.C. So the band was at the Toyota Center, home to the Houston Rockets. And, yeah, that was actually that was the last time I went to Houston until the World Baseball Classic almost 2 months ago. Yeah. It was, over 5 years. No, over 6 years, actually, until I went back to Houston. I'm going to try to go to Houston next year for a UFL game. Because, I don't want, I just went to Houston. It's a long drive, but I think it'll be worth it. So, yeah. I have quite a bit of band t-shirts. I do have a lot of shirts. Quite a bit of them are sports shirts. Quite a bit of them are Super Mario shirts. If you follow my main channel, you've seen me worn Super Mario shirts before. And I have quite a bit of rock band shirts, and this is one of them. So, yeah. All right. So, and if you're watching this video, if you look around this room, a lot of these pictures are bands. Okay? Oh, yeah, I still got my TVs on. Well, if you're watching the video, where my finger is pointing at, that is Tool, their logo. So, yeah. 10,000 Days. I think a lot of Tool fans say that's their best album ever. Listen, I've listened to all their albums. They only have 6 albums. Only 6 albums in over 35 years, because some of these band members, they're in other bands, and plus they take a lot of time to put in the work for the albums. Yeah, 10,000 Days was their second to last album, and then their latest album came out on August 30th, 2019. So fans had to wait over 13 years until the next album came out. Yeah, that long. Yeah, who knows? It might be another 13 years until we have to wait if they are going to work on another album. All right, so there you go. Now, talk about sports. So, last night I released a video of me watching the first time ever. I did a video of me watching a sports film on this channel, and I watched Draft Day featuring Kevin Costner. So yeah, if you want to watch that movie with me, you can do that. The thing is, you're gonna have to watch my reaction on one device and put the movie on another device, because I can't show you my TV while playing the movie because that is copyright. I'll get in trouble for doing that. Okay? But I did play the sound. I did play the sound of the movie. Alright? I did that because, I watched 2 old NFL Draft Round 1 earlier this week, 2006 and 2011. You can go ahead and check those out if you're interested. I did show you my TV screen for that. For those. Okay? And last weekend I was on Peacock. I forgot why I was on Peacock, but I saw that they had the film called Draft Day. And it's actually funny? I already added that to my library a couple years ago. Yeah, it was on my library, and I just never got a chance to watch it until this year. So yeah, I watched that movie, and you know what? Maybe this is something new that I'll do throughout the year, watching sports films. I did watch a film on my main channel. I watched a Super Mario Bros. Movie before I went to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So yeah, remember, this is sports-related channel, okay? So there are some other sports films that I would like to watch, such as Happy Gilmore 1. I haven't seen Happy Gilmore 2 yet, but I obviously got to watch Happy Gilmore 1 first before the sequel, okay? So that's one. I've seen quite a few of classic baseball films, okay? So, yeah, maybe I'll do this throughout the year. Yeah. All right. Now we can get to the sports talk. So, yesterday, horse racing fans, was the Kentucky Oaks. Yeah, the Kentucky Oaks, where it has fillies. Huh? Phillies? Philadelphia Phillies? The female horses, they're known as fillies. The Kentucky Oaks, they've had this just as long as the Kentucky Derby. 152 years of both the Oaks and the Derby. Yeah. It's funny because I watched the Kentucky Derby every year since 2013, but I didn't watch the Kentucky Oaks every year. Somehow back then I never knew what the Kentucky Oaks was. I never heard of it at the time. But recent years, I found out about the Kentucky Oaks. But a couple years ago, I wasn't really watching the Kentucky Oaks, mainly because I didn't have the time to watch it. Because, you got to watch the Kentucky Oaks before you watch the Kentucky Derby. Because if you watch the Kentucky Derby, they're probably most likely are going to spoil what happened in the Kentucky Oaks. Because the Kentucky Oaks is the day before the Kentucky Derby. Okay? And if you have Peacock, you can watch both in full. Yes, and you know what? Even if you can't watch it live, you can watch it on demand. Yes, they have the Kentucky Oaks on demand. And it's kind of funny. Last year, I watched the Kentucky Oaks on Saturday, the same day as the Derby. And I watched the Derby on Sunday. Yeah, I was a day behind. This year, I'm watching it live, most likely. Yeah, because I'm actually looking forward to this. Last weekend, I watched the Peacock's on-demand horse races, which is known as the Road to the Kentucky Derby. I watched what they had, the replays on that from the past couple of months. They had something called the Louisiana Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, the Florida Derby, the Arkansas Derby. Yeah, the winners of those races get to qualify for the Kentucky Derby. So that's cool. You're familiar with these horses, the names, the winners of these other races that they won. And here they are in the big one, okay? So yeah, I got myself hyped up for horse racing. I'm not a big horse racing fan, but I mainly do watch horse racing during this time of the year. The Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks first, then the Derby. 2 weeks later, the Preakness Stakes, which is always around my birthday, and then 3 weeks after that, the Belmont Stakes. That's really like the only time I really get into horse racing, like actually watching it, because it's known as the Triple Crown. A lot of people watch it. The Triple Crown has been around forever. Yeah. And there are sports fans that only watch big events. Kentucky Derby is a big event. You don't have to be a horse racing fanatic, but they still watch the Kentucky Derby. Just like it's basically their WrestleMania. It's basically their Super Bowl. That a lot of people watch it. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of today's WWE, but I was looking forward to WrestleMania. I'm not the only one who's not a big fan of the product, but was looking forward to the WrestleMania. There's not that many. There are some people that are not big NFL fans, but they always look forward to the Super Bowl. Because that's the biggest event of the football season. So there you go. All right. So the Kentucky Oaks. So for the first time ever, it was on prime time. Well, the last race was prime time, the main event. Okay. They went on the air at 3 p.m. Central Time. Okay. I came home an hour later at 4. And as soon as I got here, I put it on Peacock, and I started from the beginning of the broadcast. I'm like, you know what? Might as well play the entire broadcast, because NBC's coverage of horse racing is awesome. It's just exciting. It's amazing. I love it. The people on there, I know they got a lot of people on there, but they are all entertaining. It's awesome. So, and this is like NBC Sports' biggest year ever, because they had the Super Bowl, the Winter Olympics, the NBA came back to NBC, MLB also came back to NBC, okay? You got the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes. Now, they used to have the Belmont Stakes, but now it's on Fox Sports, okay? They used to have the French Open tennis, but now it's on TNT. But they have some golf, okay? I think they have one of the majors of golf. I'm not sure which one, though. I think they have Premier League Soccer. That's big. Okay. They used to have the Indianapolis 500, but now that's also on Fox. And then in the fall season, football, Big Ten Saturday Night Football. Okay. And, of course, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Oh, the WNBA. WNBA's coming to NBC and Peacock. So, that's cool. And I think some college basketball as well. That's a lot. That's a lot on NBC. I'm probably missing a few others, but yeah, seriously. It's a huge year for NBC Sports, which means it's a huge year for Mike Tirico. Because Mike Tirico is at these big events a lot of times. So, yeah. So, the Kentucky Oaks, I was looking forward to this. I made sure that I didn't miss it. So, yeah. First time ever. It was on prime time. I'm glad. I'm actually glad it's on prime time, because I didn't, I wasn't too far behind. When I came home and I tuned in, I was an hour behind, and then, when they had commercial breaks, I would skim through it, so that way I'm getting closer to the live feed, okay? So yeah, I wasn't too far behind, and that's the best part about having Peacock. Well, it was also on YouTube TV, but you can record it on there. But since I have Peacock, I put it on there. So, yeah, and this is a tradition where everyone wears pink. Speaking of pink, I got this decoration where it lights up. See, look at that. Pink flamingo for the bar. That's right. I actually do have a pink shirt. I think I have 2 pink shirts, believe it or not, but you hardly ever see me wear those because, pink is not my favorite color. I probably could have worn it for this, but I wanted to wear this shirt instead. So, but Kentucky Oaks that's their tradition. People wear pink. I saw they had Bill Belichick. Because a lot of celebrities, they go to these big events, and Bill Belichick was there. He was with Bob Baffert. And Bill had a pink tie on, so that was cool. All right. Yeah. And then the last hour, they went to NBC at 7 p.m. Central. The last hour, because, it's still, the countdown to the last race. And then they had Mike Tirico on. Hey, Mike. I was like, oh, Mike Tirico's there. Where were you the past couple hours? He was probably wandering around, enjoying himself. So, yeah. First time ever. It was prime time, and I like it because last year it was held a couple hours earlier, and I missed it. I couldn't watch it live. So that's why I was a day behind watching last year's coverage. So I hope it's prime time every year from now on. I'm surprised it took them this long. I'm surprised it took NBC this long to have it prime time. I mean, I get it. You're kind of breaking the tradition, but I think most people are totally okay with that. Because, it's Friday, a school day, a work day for most people. A lot of people have work and school on Friday. So, yeah. And then Saturday, yes, keep the tradition alive for the Kentucky Derby. Throughout Saturday afternoon into the early evening hours, yes, leave the Kentucky Derby the way it is. Okay? So, yeah, I pretty much watched most of the Kentucky Oaks broadcast. They had a race, so they would have races before the last race. This one race was on the turf, and if you saw those races before the Kentucky Oaks race, this one race was on the turf, and it came down to like 4 horses together. Side by side by side by side. And like, wow, what an ending. What a finish. It's on YouTube. You can find it. NBC Sports YouTube channel. They would post the full races. So that's great. So you can go ahead and find it. Yeah, it was like 4 horses coming down the stretch together and closer to the finish. And I'm like, wow. What a finish that was. I've never seen 4 horses together being that close to the finish line. Yeah. Wow. It's always exciting when the race is that damn close. Yeah. Okay, so the Kentucky Oaks, the race itself had like 16 horses, I believe, which is quite a lot. Remember, these are fillies. Filly horses are quite smaller, but they're really fast too. Mike Rapole, the UFL owner, he had a horse in the Kentucky Oaks named Zany, or I think that's his name, Zany. And if you watch the Triple Crown horse racing for years, you get to be familiar with the trainers. Yeah, every year I'm like, oh, it's this guy. This guy's back. Brad Cox, Bob Baffert, Todd Pletcher. I'm familiar with these trainers. I'm like, wow. Some of them I've seen them for the past 10 years, and here they are again. They're that damn good trainers. So, yeah. All right. This is exciting on what I'm about to say. I recorded a video of me watching the Kentucky Oaks race, and I'm going to show that to you in just a little bit. Yeah, I couldn't upload that video separately because last night I premiered the video of me watching a movie. So I figured, why not add this to my episode of KSN? So here it is. My reaction to the Kentucky Oaks race. Here it is.
It's been remodeled. Big Buck is down there to take it all in as Nick the jockeys come to join the horses.
All right. Horse racing fans, I'm watching the Kentucky Oaks. That's right. Look who it is, UFL owner. The man. Got to root for his horse. Yep.
She's looking for a long stretch. She's got a great shot at the top of the stretch. She's going to run them down.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Rapoli. Of course, tomorrow he bids to win his first Kentucky.
First time I'm using my digital camera. See how this goes, all right? Also got the hockey playoffs games on because got 3 game 6s. It's probably the same with the NBA playoffs. So. So yeah, I'm watching this on Peacock. I am about 30 minutes behind, so not bad. It came on at 3 p.m. Central, and I came home an hour later. So only 1 hour behind, but then I tuned in as soon as I got here, and then I fast forward through the commercial breaks because I have Peacock. That helps. So I didn't miss much. I saw most of the broadcast, so that's great. And you know what? That's why I like it prime time. First time ever. The Kentucky Oaks is prime time. That's awesome. I think it should be like that every year. Because, it's Friday, it's a school day, a work day, So that way you're not going to miss much if it's prime time, Now the Kentucky Derby should always be the way it is. Saturday throughout the afternoon into the early evening hours. So yeah.
Kentucky Oaks and Derby winning jockey of 2 years ago. You're on a big.
It doesn't get dark there until like 8:30. Yeah, because they're up north. That's how that works. I found out that the higher north you are, the later it gets dark during the summer season.
Phillies are in the paddock and they're all behaving themselves.
Yeah.
All right, Nick Brand's on the longest shot on the board.
The weather's clear, but I heard that it's kind of cool outside. Speaking of cool outside, it's actually cool outside where I am too, in South Louisiana. And it was raining like all day. The whole day it was raining.
Host and model actress.
There we go, I can skip through the commercials.
Riders up.
Riders up!
Yes. Now, for the annual tradition we have all been looking forward to. This time, in prime time. Riders up!
Yeah, it's usually a celebrity that says that. And the Kentucky Oaks. A lot of people wear pink. That is their tradition. Yep. I forgot about that. So, last year I watched the Kentucky Oaks on Saturday, and then I watched the Kentucky Derby on Sunday. Yeah, because last year I just completely forgot about the Kentucky Oaks, but luckily they have the replay on Peacock, so you get to watch it whenever you want. And that's what I did. I was a day behind. I made sure not to get spoiled. But this year, I'm pretty much watching it live. So yeah.
This is American Pharaoh's daughter. Was considered to be an early favorite for the Kentucky Oaks throughout the beginning of the season until she was beaten in her last
on Peacock they had other horse racing replays. They call it the Road to the Kentucky Derby. I watched all that. I watched all that last weekend to get myself hyped up for this year's Kentucky Derby. So yeah, NBC's coverage is awesome.
Those are the two co-favorites at 9-2 from Queen Percy's Bar.
25 years ago, in 2001, was NBC's first year broadcasting the Triple Crown. Before that, it was on ABC. Look at that skyline. Oh, look, yeah, he's wearing
Steve
pink too.
Who has been doing that for 3 decades here at Churchill Downs.
He's been doing that for 3 decades.
We told you how tightly packed it is at the top. Let's go check with our
does it solo.
Their thoughts on what's
Solo.
going on. Bernie Radio will check up there watching the numbers and their thoughts on how they're going to bet this race, guys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Steve Kornacki alongside
Eddie, old chick.
I've been waiting all afternoon considering
Hey Eddie, you're missing some great hockey games.
13 Pashmina ran against the number 9.
You're missing game 6s. All game 6s, the series might be over. There may not be any game 7s on Sunday or Monday.
She never stopped trying in the last race at Aqueduct in New York.
I noticed he's usually at the Kentucky Derby. So I read that that's still part of a deal that he made with TNT, that he can be on NBC for the horse racing coverage. Not sure where he's going to go next after the Kentucky Derby. What city is he going to go to? Which NHL game will he call next? I don't know.
But has also shown a devastating kick when she's turned it on.
Steve Kornacki, of course.
She can sit off, let it heat up front.
They're making their predictions.
Turn a foot. Maybe she can get across the finish line at a big price. So, Mike, for me, it's number 4, Counting Stars.
So our group shows what we're seeing a lot of options.
You notice a lot of people are wearing pink.
As well as you look for
Like it's Barbie colors.
Since I'm not Xana or Dylan, I should.
Actually, I do have a pink shirt.
At 53,
Believe it or not. I think I have 2 of them, but I barely wear them. Because, you know, pink is not my favorite color. But I could have wore it. I could have wore it for this.
Put temporary lights up here at Churchill Downs and a regular basis during the card.
So normally
Events under the lights, including this one, the first time.
I would do live streams of me watching live sports, but again, this is not actually live. I'm 30 minutes behind, so I figured why not just do a regular video instead. So yeah, Mike Rapoli, that's the horse I'm going to cheer for. UFL fans, y'all have to cheer for this horse, or y'all had to cheer for that horse, I should say. Zany. Oh, 40 to 1. Is that the longest shot?
At least $82. Jerry LaForge's Counting Stars.
She comes off her career best, winning the Fantasy in Arkansas. If she runs that race back, that effort would likely be good enough.
Look at that crowd, man. Over 100,000 people.
First race outside of California, 3 wins, her first 4.
I mean, this is history. This is a great part of American history.
The 6th is most scratched on Wednesday.
They have the lights on. It's not completely dark yet.
37 to 1. Luis Saez is a speed jockey. That's what he's known for.
But it's after 8 p.m. there, so it's going to get dark pretty soon. Yeah, look, it's not quite dark yet.
Those first 2, award-winning trainer Chad Pratt looking for his first.
If you live up in Canada, oh, it doesn't get dark until like after 9 o'clock at night. And if you live up in Alaska, it won't get dark until after 10:30, which is crazy. Imagine living up in Alaska and it's still daylight at 9:30. You know? They have a long daylight. Yep. And that's that's the one thing I do like about the summer season is longer daylight. But what I don't like about the summer is the heat. Too damn hot, you know. 37 to 1. Hey, the jockey's got pink on.
Avoid losing a lot of ground in the first turn.
Lovely Gray the 50, only 1 win in 7.
Gray horse, Lovely Gray.
Dave Portnoy, who we heard from in the walkover, the 16 Nikon scratch.
See, I'm not a big horse racing fan, but I always watch the Triple Crown races. Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday of May, 2 weeks after. The Preakness Stakes, which is always around my birthday, right? And then 3 weeks after that is the Belmont Stakes. So, and speaking of horse racing, I'm going to try and go to Opelousas, Louisiana, okay? Because there is a horse racing track. It's called Evangeline Downs. I mentioned this sort of towards the end of the latest KSN episode. I'm going to try and go there on May 30th, which is the weekend after Memorial Day, okay?
Mine is horse racing.
And I haven't been there since 2019, so it'll be nice to go back there for the first time in 7 years. Disco ball.
That's right. This is where that magically reflecting sphere that embodied an entire era of music was invented. Where the craze that took over the world has its most luminescent roots. Now tonight in Louisville, the party is in.
So yeah, I watched, I've seen the other races that they showed. Did y'all see that crazy finish where there were 4 horses together at the finish line on the turf? Wow, what a finish. I've never seen that. 4 horses together. Like, wow, that's exciting. 4 horses together, side by side, by side, by side, you know. 152nd Kentucky Oaks. Just like the 152nd Kentucky Derby.
Thank you. Who knew about the disco ball in Louisville?
So yeah, I'll do a reaction of me watching the Kentucky Derby. Maybe live? It depends. If not, then it'll just be like this.
Under the lights, running 152.
Wow, over 103,000. Yeah, look, it's not quite dark yet. It's not completely dark yet.
So as you look at the odds, let's go through a couple
Wow.
of final thoughts from Randy Moss.
Zany and Always a Runner are both the top 2
She was
favorites.
10-1 in the opening odds, so why
The
is she
longest
down
shot,
to the favorite
Resist,
in 9-2? She's
47-1.
lifetime. But consider what she's overcome. She had pneumonia before she ever raced.
Percy's
And
Bar,
hyperbaric
Explorer,
chamber.
Prom
They
Queen,
finally got her to run.
Meaning,
She won her first out.
Counting
And she got
Stars,
sick again.
Lovely
And she
Gray,
missed weeks of training. They didn't really think she would be a Kentucky Oaks contender, but they went ahead.
Dazzling
Wasn't
Dame,
100% ready, put her in a stakes race, she won
or is it
anyway.
Dam? I
She's
don't
down
know.
to the
Durr.
left. They're expecting improvement.
Brooklyn Blonde, and Search Party.
30 minutes or so. We watched the late betting as well. Explore, Jerry.
17 horses. Technically 16. It's 1 scratch, but that's a lot. And remember, these are fillies, female horses, so they're not as big as the, you know, they're a little smaller than the other horses.
But having missed that one essential prep, it's not perfect for her.
Bob Baffert's the trainer of that horse.
That One Republic song was a chance to finish one.
Yeah, and I've watched this, well, not this particular, but the Kentucky Derby. I've watched that every year since, like, I guess 2013, because 2013 was like the first year I got into watching sports, you know. And I've watched quite a bit of old Kentucky Derby races.
Including Meaning, the 5 horse at 7-1.
Yeah, she's won 3 over 4. She was,
You know, because old horse racing goes way back. It really does. Think about it. This is the 152nd edition. 152 years ago was what? We're talking
I got a second sneak in one more prop. We did
1874, right? That's 152 years ago. 1874.
Prom Queen.
On a May night when you're all dressed
Crazy.
up, right? Todd Fletcher has been here and done this before. The
Oh,
trainer
that's a
is
familiar
for his
face.
5th Kentucky Oaks with Zany.
Yeah, I would see like certain trainers every year.
Fourth win.
Is that Brad Cox? Yeah, that's Brad Cox.
And they've got some celebrities like Bobby Flay, the terrific chef.
Yeah, celebrities. Oh, Bill Belichick was there. That was cool.
And that energy, and he's there with John Fanta as they get set to watch to see.
There we go.
If 50 Lovely Gray can pull off a surprise. Lovely Gray's odds probably are kinder than the horse's performance, if you look. That happens oftentimes on Derby weekends, where it's the Oaks of the Derby, that a name or an owner or something pops.
So I'm rooting for Zanny, number 2, right?
The odds. So the sun has set under a flower moon. We are set for the 152nd.
This is a big weekend in sports.
The great Larry Colmus.
Larry Colmus.
The Lovely Gray's about to make her way to the starting gate here.
This is where Mike Tirico. We see him in the last hour of the broadcast. I wonder what he was doing earlier today.
They will be the last ones in.
Probably enjoying himself,
They are all in line.
eating good food.
Ready for the start.
All right, here we go.
They're on. It's the Kentucky Oaks, and Sadie did not have a good start. She's been left at the back of the pack as Explorer takes the early lead.
So you can't really tell these are fillies. A lot of horses, they look exactly alike. A lot of brown horses. Look at that crowd. It still doesn't look like it's that dark yet.
Car is 8 lengths behind at this stage, and then Prom Queen. Lovely Gray is second last, and last of them.
Hopefully this video doesn't get blocked.
So on
I don't think it will.
23.08 was that opening quarter mile. Explorer, the Bob Baffert runner in front. Dazzling Dame.
I mean, geez, being a horse racing announcer, calling races with that many horses, that's impressive.
Brooklyn Blonde is sixth on the outside. 46.
I mean, they earned my respects. Hockey announcers, they also earned my respect. Can you imagine calling hockey games? Zanny is kind of in the middle. 40-1's in second place. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the longest shot? There's like 3 co-favorites. Oh, we might have another exciting finish. We might have another exciting finish. 3 horses together. Always a runner. Wow. That was a great call by Larry Colmus. Another exciting finish. Chad Brown. I think I'm familiar with that trainer. These trainers, they do this for a long time. Bob Baffert was there. He's been there for a long time. He's got the same hairstyle, glasses. Wow. So that's awesome. First time ever. Kentucky Oaks. Prime time. I think it should be prime time every year. Because, you know, it's Friday. It's a work day, a school day. So that way, when you come home, you get to watch most of the coverage, like me. Now it's getting dark. But the Kentucky Derby should always be the way it is throughout Saturday afternoon, and then the last race at 7 Eastern. So, yeah. All right. So, I'm going to preview the Kentucky Derby on the next episode of KSN on Saturday, right? Special Saturday edition of KSN. So, yeah. Always a runner came on the outside and takes the lead. What a finish. All right, y'all, perfect timing. My camera is out of memory, so perfect timing. I get to stop this. I'll see you for the next reaction. Me watching the Kentucky Derby race.
With only 2 starts, maybe.
So yeah, that was a great race. And yeah, now today is the Kentucky Derby. So I'm going to preview that here. Let's see here. If I can pull up the lineup. So their coverage starts at 11 a.m. on Peacock. Okay? And then at 1:30 p.m. Central, NBC will go on the air, okay? So, but you can stay on Peacock for the entire broadcast all day until 6:30 p.m. Central. So yeah, there's going to be horse racing coverage for 7.5 hours. That's basically like, obviously, the Kentucky Derby, that's basically like their Super Bowl, WrestleMania of horse racing. So yeah, I'm gonna watch that whole broadcast pretty much. Why not? So, and yes, I'll do a reaction of me watching the Kentucky Derby race. Will it be live? I don't know. But if I'm not caught up to the broadcast when it's time for the race to start, it'll be a regular video just like the Kentucky Oaks reaction. And I'll upload that separately, I guess tonight or tomorrow, okay? So, getting into the Kentucky Derby now. Let's see what the weather is like, 'cause some years it rains and the track is sloppy and muddy. So, Louisville, Kentucky weather. The Kentucky Oaks was kind of cool and windy outside, but it wasn't raining. Today, a high of 57, but it's going to be mostly cloudy. Okay, so it's not going to rain. So the track should be fast. All right. So, if you remember last year's Kentucky Derby, won by Sovereignty, okay? And then Sovereignty, the runner-up, I believe, was Journalism. Yep. Sovereignty and Journalism. Yeah. That was quite the rivalry. Yeah. Sovereignty, I believe, skipped the Preakness, but Journalism won the Preakness. And then they had a rematch at the Belmont. Sovereignty won the Belmont. So getting into this year's, here are the horses. So, number 1 is Renegade, the horse's name. That's the fan, okay. The horse's name is Renegade. The trainer is Todd Pletcher, a familiar trainer. Okay. The jockey is Irad Ortiz Jr. I'm not really... There's a few jockeys that I'm familiar with, but I'm more familiar with the trainers, their names, okay? It doesn't list the owner, but it is owned by Mike Rapoli, right? Let's see here. Yep, Mike Rapoli is the owner of the horse, Renegade, number 1 in the Kentucky Derby. This horse won the Arkansas Derby. Awesome. And this horse is actually one of the favorites to win. 4-1, the odds. Well, the odds, they're going to change some of the odds will change throughout the broadcast, but as of right now, Renegade is one of the favorites. So yeah, Mike Rapoli has another horse. That's awesome. The UFL owner. What a weekend for him. Number 2 is Albus. 30-1 odds. Number 3 is Intrepido or Pido. 50-1 odds. That might be the longest. Is that the longest shot? I don't know. Number 4 is Litmus Test. Trainer Bob Baffert. 30-1 odds. Okay. Yeah, I'm only going to read the trainer and jockey's names that I'm familiar with. Otherwise, this will take a long time. Okay. Number 5 is Scratched. This is the horse's name is Right to Party. Oh man, a horse with that name is Right to Party, but unable to compete. It says Right to Party was scratched immediately before the deadline on Friday, May 1st, after regulatory veterinarians concluded that there may have been clinical signs of disposing Right to Party to injury should have run in the Derby. Okay, that's always a shame when that happens. Number 6 is Commandment. Trainer Brad Cox, a familiar trainer. That horse is 6-1, so that is one of the favorites. Number 7 is Dannon Bourbon. Oh, this horse came from Japan. Wow. How awesome is that? 20-1 odds. Number 8 is So Happy. Jockey Mike Smith. I am surprised Mike Smith is still a jockey. Mike Smith is 60 years old. I don't know if he is the oldest jockey in this race, but wow, I thought he retired. But no, he is a jockey in the Kentucky Derby. That's awesome. He is 60 years old. I remember when he won the Triple Crown in 2018 with a horse named Justify. And back then, Mike was, this was 8 years ago, Mike was 52. I thought that was kind of old to be a jockey, but he's still in it. Yeah, a lot of these jockeys are like Hispanic little Mexicans. All right, because you got to be there's a weight limit for being a jockey, okay? So Happy, the horse, 15-1 odds. Number 9 is the Puma. Okay, I've seen the Puma in one of the other races leading up to the Kentucky Derby. I forgot which one it was. It might have been the Florida Derby or the Louisiana Derby. Not quite sure. I wish it can tell us. 10-1 odds. Number 10 is Wander Dean. 30-1 odds. Number 11 is Incredibolt. I like that name. 20-1 odds. Number 12 is Chief Wallaby. Trainer Bill Mott, who won last year's Kentucky Derby. The trainer of Sovereignty. Chief Wallaby is 8-1 odds. Number 13 is Silent Tactic, but unfortunately is scratched. It says Silent Tactic. I'm on the Wikipedia page, by the way. Silent Tactic was scratched from the event of Wednesday, April 29, 3 days before the event after developing a bruised foot. Damn, that's a shame. Number 14 is Potente. Bob Baffert. He has another horse in the Derby. Yeah, Bob Baffert. What a trainer this guy is. He's been doing this for a long time. It's hard to pick against him. Let's see here. How many Kentucky Derbies he's won? He's won it in 1997, 98, 2002, 15, 18, and 20. So he's won it 5 times. And it's funny because I remember I did watch some old Kentucky Derbies. when he was in the mid-90s, he looked the same back then. He had the same white hair. He would wear those glasses, those sunglasses that he has. And yeah, he's still going. He's 73, so he's one of the best racehorse trainers of all time. He won 2 Triple Crowns, 2015 with American Pharoah, and 2018 with Justify. Yeah. Then he got suspended a couple years ago. For horses failing drug tests. I think that's what it is. I think he was suspended for like a year or two a couple years ago, so good thing he's back. But it was only at Churchill Downs. He was able to be in the Preakness and the Belmont, just not the Kentucky Derby. So, yeah. All right. Moving on now. Number 15 is Emerging Market. Trainer Chad Brown. I am familiar with him. 15-1 odds. Number 7 is Pavlovian. Trainer Doug O'Neill. I'm not familiar with him, but I might have seen him before. 30-1 odds. 17 is 6 Speed. 50-1 odds. That's one of the long shots. 18 is Further Ado. Trainer Brad Cox. He has another horse in the Derby. John Velasquez, a jockey. I'm a familiar jockey. He's 54. Wow. From Puerto Rico. He won the Kentucky Derby in 2011, 17, and 20. Further Ado, 6-1 odds. One of the favorites to win. Number 19 is Golden Tempo. Jose Ortiz is the jockey. Another Puerto Rican, 30-1 odds. Number 20 is Full Effort, but unfortunately scratched. Full Effort was scratched from the event on Thursday, April 30, 2 days before the event after returning from a workout and off in his left behind leg. X-rays reveal a small bone chip. Brad Cox, trainer of that horse. So moving on to 21, Great White, 50-1 odds. 22 is Oseli, another 50-1 odds. And the last horse, number 23, Robusta. Trainer Doug O'Neill, 50-1 odds. So wow, we got a number 23 in the Kentucky Derby. Has that ever happened before? So we have like a couple horses that are scratched. So yeah, it'll be exciting. Oh, here we go. Here's the qualification. The road to the Kentucky Derby. Let's see here. Oh man, it's like the road to WrestleMania, you know, the Royal Rumble. You know, the Kentucky Derby, it always has a lot of horses, like about 20 of them. It's like a battle royale, or battle royal, WWE battle royal. There's about 20 wrestlers in the ring at once, maybe. So, yeah. So that's awesome. All right, let's see here. Okay, so Full Effort, the horse that got scratched, he won the Jeff Ruby Stakes. Okay. Emerging Market won the Louisiana Derby. Commandment won the Florida Derby. The Puma came in second in the Florida Derby. Okay. Renegade Micropole's horse won the Arkansas Derby. Further Ado won the Blue Grass Stakes. Albus won the Wood Memorial. Right to Party came to second. Another horse that scratch in the Kentucky Derby. So Happy won the Santa Anita Derby. Trendsetter? I guess he's not in the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, so I've watched these races on Peacock because I had them last weekend to get myself hyped up for this year's Derby. So yeah. They even have a Japan road to the Kentucky Derby. That's awesome. So yeah, this is always exciting. You know, NBC's coverage is awesome. All right. So I always pick a horse to root for or hoping to win. It's always hard out of 20 of them. So the horse that I'm going to pick to win, the 2026 Kentucky Derby 152nd edition is Renegade. I'm a big UFL fan. I have to root for Micropole's horse. Yes, and Renegade is the favorite. 4-1 odds. Number one. And I think I saw a graphic. I think the last time a horse that was number one that won the Kentucky Derby was almost 30 years ago. Wow. Because, you know, when you're number one, you're on the inside. When you're number 20, you're on the way outside. You know, they have that giant starting gate, you know. So, yeah, I'll be rooting for Renegade, Todd Pletcher, Ired Ortiz Jr., and Micropole. Yes. That'll be awesome if that horse wins. I hope that horse wins. So, yeah. That's awesome. If not, why not 60-year-old Mike Smith for a horse named So Happy, number 8. So those are the two horses that I'll be rooting for. Yeah, sometimes I pick two. So number 1, Renegade. Number 8, So Happy. Those are the two horses that I'll cheer for. Who knows? Maybe they'll come first and second. That'll be exciting. So, okay. Yeah, and I'll watch the other other races that they'll show. I think they show about seven races, or 8 or 9. I don't know. So, I'm gonna try to go to a horse racing event in about a month. I'm thinking on Saturday, May the 30th, 4 weeks from tonight, in at Evangeline Downs in Opelousas, Louisiana. I would like to go there because the last time I went was 2019. That's almost 7 years ago. So it would be nice if I go to that. And yes, I'll do a video there. I'll do a big vlog there. If you follow my main channel, the early videos, the early years, I even put out some old clips of me at that racetrack. So I'll let you know if it's official. I'm confident I'll go during this season. Okay, so there you go. Now, speaking of Micropole, the UFL. So I made my Week 6 predictions. We're in the second half of the UFL's regular season. I'm pretty much all caught up. Like I said, I did not watch the Thursday night game as well as the Friday night game. Okay, but luckily I have it recorded, so I'll watch it. I'll probably watch both of those today. I might put those on while I'm watching the Kentucky Derby. I've been doing that with the NHL playoffs because, you know, I have 4 TVs, and it really helps. It really, really helps. So, for the UFL, I want to make sure if I did watch the last game of Week 5. I believe it was Arlington or Dallas Renegades against Louisville. Okay, I did watch that game. Okay, so I did watch that game last night, I believe. Or the night before. How about Louisville? Louisville crushed the Dallas Renegades. Wow. Wow. Excuse me. See, the UFL, these games are unpredictable. I mean, I know it's still a new league, but these are still professional athletes. They really are. I remember a couple years ago in the 2023 XFL season, the worst team beat the best team. It was the Orlando Guardians, the worst team. They had the worst record. I believe they beat the DC Defenders. I think DC was the best team. I think they had the best record that year. So yeah. The 2 games that occurred, St. Louis Battlehawks at the Louisville Kings. That's kind of weird. Louisville played last in Week 5, and then they played first on Week 6. I haven't seen that game yet, so most likely I'll watch that. And then the game that just happened last night, the Houston Gamblers at the Columbus Aviators, a rematch from Week 6. I ordered a Houston Gambler shirt. It's going to come on Monday. So Monday will be the shirt. And I'll order a UFL logo shirt as well, because why not? I mean, I love the UFL now. It is awesome. Thank you, Mike Rapole. Unlike that CFL commissioner. Yeah. Yes. The last episode, I know, it was mainly me talking about the CFL playoff format change in 2027. I'm not going to talk about that now. No need to. I let myself out there in that last episode, so yeah. All right, moving on. So, yeah, I didn't watch any of the UFL's Week 6, but at some point I will. Okay? And this is the best part about YouTube TV. Otherwise, either I have to watch it live on this illegal app that my big brother gave me and my father, or watch the highlights on YouTube. But because I still have YouTube TV, why not watch the games in full? Why not? And that's what I've been doing. And it's awesome. I love it. All right. Now, to the NBA and NHL playoffs. I somehow wasn't able to talk about this in that crazy long episode. So that means... Oops. That means I can talk about it now. All right, so basically round 1 is coming to an end for both the NBA and NHL playoffs. Now remember, if I have to pick one league to follow over the other, it's the Stanley Cup final, or Stanley Cup playoffs. So I've been watching more of NHL playoff games than NBA games. So let's start with we'll do NBA first. So we'll go back to, we'll go back to a couple days ago here. So let's see here. I'm not going to go through all the games, just the ones that I know what happened. Wasn't the LA Lakers up 3-0 over the Houston Rockets? Then the Rockets won the next 2 games. So game 6, I believe game 6 is tonight between the Rockets and the Lakers, unless if they played last night. So I'm going to go to Thursday, April the 30th. How about the New York Knicks scoring 140 points on the road against the Atlanta Hawks to win the first round 4-2. I hope that team goes all the way. They haven't won the NBA championship since 1973. You know, that's Stephen A. Smith's team. So it would be awesome if that team goes all the way. I really thought they would go to the NBA Finals last year, but they got upsetted by the Indiana Pacers. Boston Celtics against the Philadelphia 76ers. It was Game 6. 76ers had to win to keep this series going, and they won 106-93. Yeah, so there will be a Game 7 back in Boston, the TD Garden, on Saturday night. Minnesota Timberwolves, they won Game 6, 110-98 over the Denver Nuggets. And the Nuggets have been eliminated. To Friday, the Detroit Pistons had to win their game to keep their season going, and they won over the Orlando Magic 93-79, so there will be a Game 7 for that series. How about the Toronto Raptors? With an overtime thriller ending. Almost an ending, but it was like with 1 second left in overtime. Over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 112-110. And yes, I was watching TSN Sports Center, so I got to see what happened. Yeah, I got to see what happened. And wow, did you see how high up that ball went? Bounced off the rim or the back of the backboard or whatever, and then it goes in the hoop. Shoot, that's crazy. Crowd went nuts. Just like March Madness nuts, you know? It's now, we can call this May Madness. So that series will also go 7 games. Okay, the LA Lakers, they did beat the Houston Rockets in Game 6. Okay, so Game 6 was yesterday after all. And they won 98-78. They win the series 4-2. It would be cool to see the LA Lakers win because of LeBron James. He's, 41 years old? Gotta be the best 41-year-old player of all time, right? Tonight. Oh, only one game tonight. Wow, only one game tonight. It's Game 7. Philadelphia 76ers against the Boston Celtics. Ooh. Should be a good one. I mean, it'll get high ratings for sure, because not only it's a Game 7, but it's Philly against Boston. Okay. Tomorrow, the other 2 Game 7s. Orlando Magic at the Detroit Pistons and the Toronto Raptors at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Monday, May 4th will be Game 1 between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Spurs. All right, now to the NHL playoffs. I'll do the same thing. I'll go back a couple days ago. The best series of round 1 is the Montreal Canadiens against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's the best series out of all the other ones. Game 5 was in Tampa. The Canadiens won 3-2, and they take the series lead 3-2. The Battle of Pennsylvania came to an end. Philadelphia Flyers, they won in overtime over the Pittsburgh Penguins. 1-0, and they win the series 4-2. They were up 3-0, and the Penguins won the next 2 games. It's sort of like, the LA Lakers and the Houston Rockets series. So the Flyers are moving on. And how about this double overtime? The Vegas Golden Knights, they won over the Utah Mammoth 5-4. They take a 3-2 series lead. That game ended so late. Because I wait until these late night games end, so then I can record. Because I don't want to record while I'm watching the game for the KSN podcast. You know what I'm saying? Unless if it's a special video like the Kentucky Oaks reaction. Thursday. Minnesota Wild, they beat the Dallas Stars 5-2, and they win the series 4-2. The The same thing happened. The exact same score. Anaheim Ducks. They defeated the Houston Oilers 5-2 in 6 games, and I was rooting for Edmonton. Even though I mentioned while growing up as a teenager, I kind of became a Ducks fan. I actually got a Ducks shirt as a birthday gift. Guess I'll show you that in the next episode if I remember. But the reason why I was rooting for Edmonton is because of Connor McDavid. They went to the last 2 Stanley Cup final. Last year and the year before, and this year they get eliminated in round 1. Like, damn, you know. So, yeah. And Connor McDavid, he won I think it was 2 years ago, he won the Conn Smythe Trophy, even though he was on the losing team of the Stanley Cup final. And then yesterday, another game that went to overtime between the Lightning and the Canadiens. The game was in Montreal, so if Montreal wins, they move on. Well, that didn't happen. The Lightning won in overtime, 1-0. Which means there will be a Game 7 all the way down in Tampa, Florida on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Only 1 day off. Normally a long flight like that, you get 2 days off. But nope. Nope. Only 1 day off. Gotta fly all the way back down in Tampa. Whew. That sucks for the Canadiens. That is the best series. Because the first 3 games... The first 3 games went into overtime. Okay? All 6 games were decided by 1 goal. When's the last time that happened? What a series this is in round 1. So Game 7 will be Sunday night or afternoon, unless if that's the only Sunday game, that's going to be at night. How about the Buffalo Sabres? Took care of business at the TD Garden, home of the Bruins, Boston Bruins. They lose to the Sabres 4-1, and they lose the series 4-2. I saw the end of that game. This Boston Bruins player, he hit this Sabres player with his stick. I'm like, holy crap, you're nuts. This is a rivalry. It really is. Congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres, not only for finally making the playoffs for the first time in 15 years, but also winning a playoff series for the first time in 19 years. I'll be cheering for that team. But they're going to be facing the winner of the Lightning and Canadiens series. I am cheering for the Canadiens, you know, because in the CFL, even though I talk trash about how stupid the commissioner came up with the playoff change in 2027, but my favorite team is the Montreal Alouettes, so I'm like, okay, might as well root for the Montreal Canadiens too. Okay. And the Vegas Golden Knights took care of business over the Utah Mammoth 5-1, and they win in 6 games. So, tonight is the beginning of round 2 between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Carolina Hurricanes. I guess they want to have a hockey game tonight. That's the only game tonight. The game 1 of round 2 on ABC. And then Sunday, Game 7 of round 1, Canadiens at Lightning. That's at 5 p.m. on TNT. And then we'll have another Game 1. Minnesota Wild against the Colorado Avalanche. All right, so there you have it. That's weird. It's kind of weird how they're doing that in the NHL. They're not going to wait until all the round ones end before they can all start round two, because that's what the NBA's doing. Like, I'm looking at the NBA schedule. The LA Lakers are going to play against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday, May 5th. The Lakers' last game was on Friday. So they're not going to play for, they'll have 3 days off. And for the Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they haven't played since April 27th. They're going to go a week and a day until they play again. What? Why are they doing that in the NBA, but not in the NHL? I thought hockey is a rougher sport than basketball. Isn't hockey a rougher sport than basketball? I don't know. 5-Tayer, if you know the answer, please let me know in the comments. Alright. So, there you have it. Wow, this episode's getting kind of long already, an hour and a half. But it is time to get to the birthdays. Luckily, this birthday segment won't take very long. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birthdays. So here we go. Let's get into them. So, belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. First one we got is Marcus Stroman. Okay. Marcus Stroman. Is he still playing? I have no idea. Let's look him up here. He's got like a blonde hairstyle. I don't remember ever seeing him like this. Born in Long Island, New York. Starting pitcher who made his major league debut with the Toronto Blue Jays in 2014. He was a star for the Duke Blue Devils, setting a school record for career strikeouts. Before fame, he graduated from Patchogue Medford in 2009. Trivia, he is one of just a handful of pitchers under 6 feet tall to start at the major league level since 2000. Family life. He has a brother named Jaden and a sister named Sabria. His cousin is former minor league player Erskine. I can't pronounce that name. Last name is Kelly. Okay. Associated with, he and Joey Gallo were both picked in the first round of the 2012 MLB draft. Now I'm going to look him up to see if he's still an active player. I want to say he's not. Oh, he's a free agent. So he played for the Toronto Blue Jays from 2014 to 19, then got traded to the New York Mets in 2019. Did not play in 2020. Played in 2021 for the Mets. Then he went to the Chicago Cubs in 2022 and 23. And then the New York Yankees in 2024 and last year. So he's not playing this year. That's interesting. Hey, he represented the United States at the 2017 World Baseball Classic, and he was the tournament's most valuable player. And in 2023, he represented Puerto Rico for the World Baseball Classic. I'm kind of surprised he's a free agent. Not playing. Maybe he's not as good as he used to be. I guess that's what happens when you get older. Next birthday is Wes Welker, former NFL player. Born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Pro Bowl NFL wide receiver who led the league in receptions in 2007, 9, and 11. with the New England Patriots. He joined the Denver Broncos in 2013, followed by the St. Louis Rams in 2015. He served as an offensive assistant for the Houston Texans from 2017 until 2018, and in 19, he became an assistant coach for the San Francisco 49ers. Before fame, he tied the NCAA record with his 8 punt returns for touchdowns while attending Texas Tech University. Trivia: after the 2012 season, the Patriots surprised many by not offering him a contract. So he signed with the Denver Broncos to play with the high-powered offense led by Peyton Manning. He led them to the Super Bowl in his first year. But that turned into a blowout. Family life: he married model Anna Burns in 2012. They have 3 children together. Associated with, he was a favorite target of Tom Brady during his Patriots career. So I remember playing Madden NFL 13 and he was in that game. So, what's he doing now? He is an offensive assistant for the Washington Commanders. Nice. Okay. Next birthday. Or belated birthday, I should say. The last episode, I forgot to put happy belated birthday on the text. And this time, I'm forgetting to say belated birthday. Joe Hendry. Professional wrestler. He was with the TNA. Now he's with WWE. Scottish professional wrestler, most famous for his work in Insane Championship Wrestling, New Generation Wrestling, What Culture Pro Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling. He is an ICW Tag Team Champion, NGW Tag Team Champion, and an Impact Digital Media Champion. Before fame, he made his professional debut with the Insane Championship Wrestling in 2013. Trivia: he became a fan favorite partly because of his theatrical ring entrances, wherein he has been known to parody music videos like Limp Bizkit's Rollin'. Family life: he was born in Edinburgh, Scotland. He is a nephew of politician Drew Hendry, the former SNP MP for Inverness, Nairn, Badenoch, and Strathspey, and a former Highland council leader. Associated with, he and Martin Stone have both performed in Insane Championship Wrestling. So, Joe Hendry, not too long ago, was called up to the main roster in WWE. He is a likable guy. He's a good guy. He's a face. And isn't his theme song, it starts off with, "I believe in Joe Hendry." So, I remember last year he had a WrestleMania match against Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton was supposed to face Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens sustained a neck injury, so Joe Hendry was a surprise replacement at that WrestleMania. The final belated birthday is another pro wrestler, Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time! I know, that's what she says, right? Alright, Tiffany, don't join the 27 club, because you're now 27, and you're famous. American professional wrestler, bodybuilder, and gymnast who has gained fame for performing on World Wrestling Entertainment's NXT brand. She made her NXT debut in December 2021. She is sometimes referred as the Buff Barbie doll. What? Before fame, she competed as a gymnast prior to joining World Wrestling Entertainment. In 2016, she joined the U.S. national gymnastics team. Wow. See, in gymnastics, you have to be tiny. You have to be little. How tall is she? 5'7", weighs 143 pounds. Yeah, she's above average. You know, in women's gymnastics, athletes are like just over 5 feet. Simone Biles is under 5 feet. Yeah. Okay, trivia. She posts photos of herself On her Instagram account, she has participated in a number of gymnastics competitions, such as the Winter Classic and Elite Challenge. Family life, she was born to Jessica Wojnilko in 2022. She began dating wrestler Ludwig Kaiser. Never heard of him. She has competed on NXT against Io Shirai. Oh, that's known as Io Scott. Yeah, I was wondering, is that really her? So, okay. Oh, Tiffany Stratton. That is not her real name. I forgot to put her real name. Her real name is Jessica Lynn Wojnilko. Yeah, because a lot of pro wrestlers they come up with a ring name. Okay. All right, 2 more birthdays. So these are today's birthdays. So happy birthday to these 2 athletes. Might as well put both of them. Kyle Busch and Paul George. Kyle Busch and Paul George. Start off with Kyle Busch. Born in Las Vegas, Nevada, NASCAR driver who founded Kyle Busch's Motorsports in 2009. He was a 2009 Nationwide Series champion and 2008 Southern 500 winner. Before fame, he started driving lessons when he was only 6 years old. Damn. So he somehow was able to reach the pedals? Because a kid is really short as a 6-year-old. How tall is Kyle Busch? Is Kyle Busch a tall man? Because that's usually a sign. Like, whoa, this kid is tall. This means he's going to be a tall adult. He's 6'1". Okay. I mean, that's not really, really tall. I mean, that is tall, but not super tall. Okay, trivia. He set a record for most wins in a single season when he won 13 races in 2010. Family life, his older brother is Nextel Cup Series champion Kurt Busch. He married Samantha Sarcinella in 2010. He and Samantha welcomed a son named Brexton Locke Busch in May 2015. Associated with his team, Kyle Busch Motorsports signed Parker Kligerman in 2013. So I used to be a NASCAR fan. I got into it in from like 2012 to 2016 or 17, so mainly mid 2010s. Kyle Busch was one of my favorites. He would drive that M&M's car. Sometimes it's a Skittles car, but it's mainly M&M's. Is he still active? I think he is. Yep, he's still in it. But I know his brother Kurt is retired, right? Yeah, because he's older. Okay. So yeah, Kyle Busch is... Like, if I watch today's NASCAR, I'm not gonna... There's gonna be a lot of names that I've never heard of. But there's gonna be some that I'm familiar and remember. Kyle Busch is one of them. Doesn't he drive number 18? I think his number was 18. I don't know if it's still number 18. Okay. Paul George is last. That's funny because, the last name George is like a first person's name. All-star guard / forward who was drafted 10th overall by the Indiana Pacers in 2010. He led the Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2013 and 14. He played for the Oklahoma City Thunder from 2017 to 2019 before a trade sent him to the Los Angeles Clippers. Before fame, he developed his skills at Pete Knight High School before attending Fresno State. Trivia, 2012-13 was his breakout season in the NBA, where he averaged over 17 points per game for the Pacers and received the NBA's Most Improved Player Award family life, he was born to Paul George Sr. and Paulette Ann George. He and Daniela Ratchik have 2 daughters named Olivia and Natasha, and a son. In the summer of 2022, the couple got married. Associated with, he was teammates with fellow forward Danny Granger of the Pacers. So, yeah, he's with the Philadelphia 76ers. And the 76ers are in that big Game 7 tonight against the Boston Celtics. If the Celtics lose tonight, damn, embarrassing for Boston sports. Bruins eliminated. Celtics, if they get eliminated, it'll be more embarrassing. And the Boston Red Sox are not a good team. And, the New England Patriots, they lost the Super Bowl, so. But that is one heck of a sports town. It really is. Me and my father, we would kind of play this game. All the sports cities, if they have to keep one professional sports team, what would it be? For New York, that's actually easy. Even though New York has like 2 teams for each pro sports, it's the New York Yankees. The Yankees have the history out of all the New York sports teams. It's the Yankees. They are the most popular New York sports team. For Boston, I don't know. Because they all have a great history. They're all very popular. But if I have to pick one, I think it'll have to be the Celtics. I think the Celtics have the most championships out of all the pro sports. The Celtics were a fantastic team in the old days. Did they have the most championships? Or did they tie with the LA Lakers? I don't remember. Because I remember they won it a couple years ago. Yeah. So 5-Tayer, if you listen to all this, thank you so much. I did see your comment from the last episode. Basically, you also don't like the new CFL playoff format. I am glad to hear that. I think most people don't like it. I think most fans don't like this. How do you call this a playoff? Now the regular season doesn't mean a damn thing, sadly. So I hope this commissioner realizes that this is a stupid idea. Clearly, he's not listening to the fans, unlike a Mike Rapole for the UFL. I hope he realizes in the next couple of years that this was a stupid decision, a stupid idea he came up with. So 5-Tayer, maybe sometime next week or so, we'll do a call and talk all things sports. All right. So I think I will take your advice, though, by using the clock for the episodes. Because I don't want these to be very long episodes each time. Only Saturdays, such as today's episode. I didn't use the clock so I can take as long as I want. Now it's after 5 a.m. I'm so tired now. Even though it doesn't sound like I'm tired, I'm kind of talking like my normal self. It's kind of interesting how I am tired, but I'm still talking like I'm wide awake. I'm not talking like, yeah, guys, yeah, it's going to be a big day for NBC Sports. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. All right, folks, have a great weekend. Enjoy the Kentucky Derby as well as more playoffs. And yeah, see you on Monday. This has been KSN.